The kind of the fireman mentality is where my mind is. I don't want to run away from the fire. I want to run to it. And yeah,
Okay.
sometimes I'm there, I'm beating my head against a wall, just going, man, ah, but at the end of the day, when you get that problem solved, and you get it fixed, there's some great satisfaction in that.
Hola, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reliable HVACR podcast. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, watching this live. If you guys join the live chat, I appreciate you guys interacting with me and the guest. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the new channel and help the podcast out by wherever you listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcast, making sure you leave a 5-star review, hopefully, and get the podcast out to more people. And I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsors that help support the podcast. If you guys are interested in the software that we use to help my business, you can go check out Jobber. If you guys follow the link in the description or go to getjobber.com/reliablehvacr, you will get a free trial and discount and see if it can help you out. I also want to thank VETO Pro Pack, best tool bags out in the market. You guys already know I'm a VETO person. I have a VETO setup for everything in my van. So if you guys want to check out the link in the description, you can go to their website, go see all the bags that they have, go check out my customer profile that's there, and show your support. And I want to thank our newest sponsor, BOSCH. They are changing the game with their inverter heat pumps. BOSCH IDS Lite 15 SEER system has it all, combining quality inverter technology and standard efficiency at an affordable price point. The outdoor unit is available in 24K, 36K, and 60K BTU capacity, and it can be paired with either a wall or ceiling air handler. Gives you plenty of installation options. The BOSCH IDS Lite will be equipped with a low GWP R54B refrigerant by this fall. Visit boschhomecomfort.us to learn more. On today's episode, we have the one, the only Jason Johnson. He's up in the Austin area. He does a lot of heavy commercial type of work with chillers and things of that nature. Now, at the end of this episode, he gives a lot of people their flowers because he's, just a good friend with a lot of these guys that are on YouTube, Instagram, all that community. But I want to say that Jason is also one of the smartest guys that I've come across. He always wants to help others, see others do well. And I'll leave all his information. You can follow him on Instagram. Check out his YouTube channel where he shows some of that industrial work that he's done. Just a good, humble dude because he'll never admit any of that stuff. So I'm honored to have him on my show, and I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Speaking to you the other day, you were at the dealership. You went in for an oil change. Was that for the other car that you had? The other one that you bought
Yes.
recently?
Yes.
So you left with two cars.
Yes.
Because you were like, man, I'm here at the dealership, and I understand because I just bought mine, my truck too, and you got to go in. You do your oil change and you wait around for a bit. So something caught your eye in the showroom, and you ended up with another vehicle there.
Oh, yes, I did.
So the other one is your wife's, right? What did you have before you got that that vehicle?
Basically, the long and the short of it is back in December, my truck was a lease, right? Because in Buffalo, where we moved from, really almost nobody buys a car because it's the rust belt. So within 10 years, a vehicle is just going to look like a pile of junk. So
Oh,
almost everyone leases out there. So I leased my truck and we leased my wife's car. And then thank God we moved here and the leases were getting close to expiring. So tried to get ahead of the situation. We took both vehicles into the dealership and we had decided to go down to one vehicle because I have a work truck, but
Hmm.
also to save some money. It's not nice not having to, shuck out all that money every single month just for a car payment. And the truth of the matter is, my truck was honestly just a lawn ornament. I mean, it was
Yeah.
4 years old and had 10,000 miles on it, so it doesn't get driven. But we go in yesterday for an oil change because that was part of the what we got when we got her car. They do the oil changes, so
Yeah.
we just took it in there, and I was like, well, just to kill time, we just walked around, and then I walked into the showroom, and it was like a fishing hook, man. It just, I was like, oh man, I love that car.
It looks pretty sick because I'm a big, black. I like the blacked out stuff, and
Hmm.
me and my son, our favorite color is red. So like with the black and red, that would have got me
Hmm.
too.
Well, that, and I mean, honestly, it's kind of may sound cheesy, but just the factory installed like little arrow kit that they put
Yeah,
on it, it totally changes the look of that car. I mean, it's a good looking car regardless, but you add that on there, and it's just, I don't know, somehow, at least for me, I was like, oh, damn, I gotta have that.
I came from an SUV that I didn't need anymore,
Hmm.
and I was kind of like you. I was like, well, it's at that time it was paid off. I had it for a while. I was like, it's nice not having a payment, like you said. And then for me also, I wasn't using it that much because I'm in the van, like almost every day, all day.
Hmm.
If I need to pick up food or anything, I usually do it on my way home from work. So it's like whatever. I was like, my car just sits there. I don't need one. But every now and then I had to go pick up like furniture or pick up boxes or go throw some
Hmm.
stuff at the dump or whatever it is. I was like, I think it's time for a truck, right? So I went to go look
Hmm.
for one and with the open mind of like a couple different models and colors. And then once I saw the one that I got, like just seeing it there on the parking lot, I was like, I don't need to see the others. I want that one. I love the color. I love the
Hmm.
the stuff that it came with. I'm like, let's just do it.
Well, and that's funny because I'm a truck guy too. I've had trucks for majority of my life, but
I've never been a truck guy because I've always been in the city before. Because like down here, like I used to live
mhm,
in the city. All my friends had sports cars. That's what we were into. I had a Pontiac Bonneville that was like sporty.
mhm,
Back in the day, they don't make them anymore, but I love that car. We used to race around and zip around town and everything. And then now I live in the country though. I was like, I kind of need a truck to move stuff, right? Like I said, we
mhm.
take stuff to the dump and all that kind of stuff over here. So I was like, I kind of need a truck now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I still love trucks, don't get me wrong, but I told my wife, we were talking, I was like, "All right, if there would be anything that I would get rid of a truck for, it would have been that, pretty much like that car that right there,
Yeah.
because I don't have anything against cars. I like cars, but I am a truck guy at heart. But when I saw that yesterday, I was like, "Oh man, this is coming
And
home
it's,
with me."
yeah. And like, even with the work vans, um, with anything, like we drive a lot for work. I drive
Mhm,
around here a lot with the family, with my kids and all that. Like you have to enjoy your drive. A nice vehicle helps with all that, right? Like
mhm.
if it's something you really enjoy driving, that's what matters.
Well, I mean, I still get my truck fix, if you will, because I have a work vehicle,
Yeah.
so I'm still driving around a truck, but it's a little bit different when it's yours and not somebody else's.
Yeah, and that funny when you told me that because my girlfriend did the same exact thing. She went for an oil change on her Kia. Oh, was it a Kia? No, Toyota. Something. It was a car, some sporty car, and she had been thinking about getting like an upgrade, right? Like an SUV, because she
Mhm,
hauls a lot of stuff too. She's a teacher. She takes things back and forth to school and stuff, and for trips that we take. So she went in and they had an issue with scheduling or something, and they wouldn't see her for the oil change. She turned right around and ran down or drove down the street to another dealership and ended up car shopping, and ended up with a new car too. She went for an oil change that morning, and I saw her come home with a new vehicle. I'm like, what happened? So it's funny when you told me that, because I was like, that just happened, with my girlfriend.
Yeah, that's the running joke between my wife. She's like, "Well, I can't take you for oil changes." I'm like, "No, you're good now." I'm
You
like,
got you got your
we
you
don't
got
need
your
it.
car.
Yeah, we don't need a third vehicle, so we're good now." But yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't planned. Let's just put it that way. It was just hey, like I got to stop being so much of a hermit crab. I kind of tend to just I love to be at home, and I do, but
That's how that's
I
how
need
I
to go.
am.
Yeah.
That's how I am, and I was very frugal, right? I was like, I don't need another car payment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need this and that. But my old vehicle was also like falling apart to where I
Mm-hmm.
had to fix something every month, and I was getting tired of that too. So I was like, let's just go out and look, and then I ended up finding what I got. But I'm the same way. Like I don't like to buy things. I don't like to splurge or anything like that. And then like lately, I've been like, okay, the business is doing really good. We're getting paid really well. Like it's okay to spend a little bit of money and enjoy life.
Well, I mean, you got to, because honestly, at the end of the day, what's the point? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Why work so hard and have zero rewards out of it? Because at that point, you're just a slave to the job, and there's nothing to look forward to.
Exactly. That's kind of how I had to change my mindset from like hoarding everything, like money wise, hoarding everything, keeping things till they fall apart and all that. And I'm like, okay, like I said, like we're doing well. I should, you know, buy, new things here and there, not go crazy with it, because I'm still very like,
Mhm.
uh, I don't, I plan things. So I'm very like, I don't need that yet or this or that. But, if you're making good money in this trade, especially, you should enjoy your life, and, especially with the family.
Well, I think I'm still a lot like you. I mean, I'm still frugal to a point. Like I'll be the guy that I mean, we wear pants for work all day, and I still wear socks that have freaking holes in them. Not on the feet or anything, but I
Yeah.
mean, what do I care, right? It's
I'm the
not a
same.
fashion statement, and I'm not walking around with my socks exposed. So
Yeah.
it's just I got a couple pairs of drawers that got holes in them, but hey, they still hold up. I'm still wearing them, but
I'm the same way. I'm the last one, or I buy my stuff last, right? Make sure my kids have everything,
hmm
whatever else we need. And then it's funny because I just bought new work pants. I've had those other ones, the Dickies, for years and
hmm
years and years. A couple of them do have holes in them. And I just never wanted to buy new work pencils. Like they probably look like shit, but they still work, right? I'm not
hmm
going to work to impress anybody. I'm just doing my job.
Mhm. I wear Dickies too, and I the same thing. I mean I love Dickies because they last forever. I mean they'll be
They they
faded, blah blah blah, but they last forever.
they seem to, yeah, because I still have mine.
I get the cargo ones. I love the cargo ones because it's like I throw some stuff in my pockets and let's do this. I don't like carrying half my truck with me all the time. I don't. I used to be the guy that had the backpack that felt like you were, had a
Yeah.
small elephant on your back. But I've learned that over the time, it's like I'll be honest with you, most of the time nowadays, a meter, a 6-in-1, maybe a pair of needle nose, I can pretty much get the job done.
Yeah, and walking up to a unit, that's kinda what you need to start with anyway. And if you
Mhm,
need, or like, with what I do, because I know you do something completely different, but when I walk up to a unit, you just need to take off a panel and check for power usually, and then they're like, "Okay, we got a
mhm,
bigger problem, let's go get, like, the big tools or the big equipment."
mhm,
And, I'm the same way. That's why I bought, because the Dickies I had did have, like, a side pocket, so I would always stuff pliers and whatever I could in there, screwdrivers. And then, recently I bought some, they're a different brand, but, like, a ton of pockets on the sides. I'm like, "Okay, now we're talking." Now I'm gonna put, like, as many screwdrivers as I can and whatever I need, um, so I can just go up to a unit and quickly diagnose it, right? Um, so
What
I love pockets.
what's that little VETO one? The little VETO one, I really wanna get that. It can go on your belt loop, and it's got, like, 6 or 7 pockets, and it's probably, like, like, yay big. I mean, that thing looks awesome.
Man, I forgot the name of it. I'll have to get you the name of that one. It's one of their. Is it a new one? I don't know.
I think it's new-ish.
I got it, and I really do like it because like I've seen other ones that you have to run through the belt. I hate those. And then this one clips on really easy and it stands up on its own and everything. So like I really like it. I have it there. I have the man, I can't remember the name of it. Are you talking about the one that has like the flap too? That kickstand?
Uh,
It's all black, the one I got.
I don't think so. Yeah. Let's pull up Vito's information right quick because
Let's look up Vito.
I absolutely yeah, I absolutely love that thing, and
It's
I'm
because
like, "Oh, man."
I'm thinking of two, but the other one is more of a standalone. This one is super compact. It's the one that I have in my van, and I grab it every now and then when I need just screwdrivers
Mhm.
and pliers.
No, it's
The
just
one I use is the MP1X.
MP1 okay, let me sorry, I'm not hopefully I'm not being disrespectful, I wanna
No, it's fine.
MP Oh! Yeah, dude. Yes.
That's the one I got because
I think
I was like, they have like three different models. I got the one in the middle
Uh-huh,
because
I
you can
see
get
that.
extra pockets. I was like, no, that one's really cool because like you said, when you just need a couple of tools, that's really neat. Stick it like clip it onto yourself, and I've done
Oh,
plenty of little calls with that.
this isn't the one I was looking at, but thank you for mentioning this because I'm seeing the back right now, and dude, that's
That's what I'm
rad.
saying because I think there was another one I showed. Oh, maybe the DP3, but that one's a drill holster. If you need a drill, that one's cool too.
Dude, that's awesome. Thank you. That'll be next on my list.
I was like, they got a bag for everything, man. That's a cool thing. They got a
Uh,
lot of stuff coming out. This podcast is presented by Local. Local works tirelessly to help HVAC contractors rank higher on Google. They use an attack methodology to make sure that contractors dominate their local service areas and increase their market share and generate higher revenue. Reach out to Local at localhq.com/reliable. Mention me or the Reliable HVACR podcast, and you'll get 2 months of SEO for free.
there's always something to learn, and you can learn it from almost anyone. I mean, I remember when long time ago, I used to be an installer, right? You know, residential installer, and once I got pretty good and became a lead, you know, they started giving me a lot of green helpers. And I'll admit, you know, like when I first got the job, a big head, you know, like I just thought my crap didn't stink. And I come to find out that was wrong. And thank God I've learned that lesson. But I remember this one guy, he was just green as green could be. Like he had like a week experience. And I was just sitting there looking at something, trying to figure it out. And he goes, "Why don't we do blah, blah, blah?" And then thank God I actually listened to him. And I was like, damn, dude, right on, man.
Yeah.
Right on, you know, like, I totally didn't even see it. So I mean, you can learn something from any person. So never discount or discredit anyone, you know, never think because somebody's, lower level than you that they're not smart, they're not qualified, they don't know what they're doing because they just may surprise you.
And it's funny because I've had that too. Like my brother has been in this even when he started, like he would try and think outside the box and give us ideas. My dad does not do HVAC, but every now and then I just have to, talk back and forth with him to get ideas if I'm stuck on something because, I might not think of how he would handle it or anything like that. And I've talked to other guys, and that's why sometimes I'll call tech support, when I'm stumped and just speaking out loud to them and explaining things.
Mhm.
And then you have that, oh shit, I didn't check this or I didn't do that. And they're like, you can try this or that. Like, it's always good just to sometimes get ideas, like you said, from people. Even if you think you know everything or most of it. Because sometimes somebody chit chatting with somebody helps you a lot.
Mhm. 100%.
I've had it
Sometimes
happen.
just talking about it you
I've
just
had it
talk
happen so
about it, you're
many
like, blah,
times.
blah, blah, blah. No, it does, you know who's really good about it, and, is, Steve-O, Everything,
Oh yeah.
HVACR. That's my boy right there, like, him and I, we chat and we talk, like, a pretty good amount. Like he's called me about stuff, I've called him about stuff, and one of the things I love is, neither one of us, there's no shame in the game in asking for help. You know what I mean? It's a pride can get you in trouble. I mean, I understand it, this, that, and the other, but pride, having too much pride, that'll be your downfall. It really will be. We
Too
all need
much,
help. We all need somebody to help us.
too much pride. I was like that when I started. I came out of school. I thought I knew a lot. Didn't like asking for help, but that's just the way like that I am, even before,
Hmm.
this trade. So with that mindset, I had a lot of long days, a lot of frustrations when I could have just, called somebody or tech support or whatever it is. So then I had to, pivot to that and be like, okay, I'm gonna call so and so, or I'm gonna call tech support and be like, look, I tried, I'm stuck, help me out. Once I started doing that, and once you get comfortable doing that, like you can do anything, because if you ever get stuck, there's somebody else that's gonna know, something that you don't know, or help you
Hmm.
get you along the way or on the right path.
Absolutely. Without question, without doubt. I mean, and that's what I love about our little community that we got here, because it seems like, I don't know, like almost 98% of the people are good people, and they'd be willing to help you out at any time, and that's that's what I love the most. We got a core little group of, at least, the guys who are always in there, Pat, Brian, I mean, Freon, Leon. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just a nice little cool little core group of us, and you always see it. We're always talking crap to each other, friendly and having fun, but guaranteed each one of us would be more than happy to help the other out if needs
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, and it's funny, like you said, like you go in there and it's just, talking smack or catching up with everybody. And if you ever ask a serious question, or message them or anything, they're gonna help you. They're gonna tell you
Mhm.
how it is, and they're gonna help you out. Because I've had plenty of conversations with any of these guys, and even the guys on Instagram, right? Like
Mhm.
I didn't have but like maybe two people that I trusted here locally where I could ask them stuff or whatever. And then like they still had those old school habits of doing it, the I don't know how to call it, but like doing it the wrong way, for some things,
Mm.
right? They're like, oh, just do this or do that. So I would take any advice with a grain of salt, and I would try to, pick and choose what advice I would take. But if you go online on Instagram, on YouTube, and you ask other guys, you're gonna get a lot of people willing to help and give you like right information. And
Mhm.
if they don't know something, they'll point you to, a YouTube video or somebody that's done it. So I love that aspect of it, that community. And the guys here and that'll be in the chat, that'll be on Instagram. Um, that's what I love, because I've even when I started and I wasn't anything, I wasn't posting. I asked Chris Stevens, a couple questions when, his channel's been huge for a long time. He responded super quick and gave me some advice on like walk-in boxes that I was new to, or seeing problems for the
Mhm.
first time. He's like, yeah, it's this or that. I was like, oh, cool. I didn't know I could get, responses from these guys, and everybody's willing to help.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, Chris has asked me like once or maybe twice about something, and I'm like, shit, I'm more than happy to help him. I mean, granted, we don't work on the same things, but as well
Yeah.
as the core principles don't change. You know what I mean? The core principles don't change. We're in a heat transfer industry, and the only thing that's different is the way it's implemented, or certain controls, or saturated temps. But at the end of the day, it's the same freaking thing. You know what I mean? It really is.
Yeah, because I got stumped a while back, and I think I talked to Ty Brenneman and Brett Wetzel, and
Hmm.
it was something kitchen related, refrigeration, And I needed to ask them a couple of questions because I was having issues with the discharge, the discharge line. I was like, this is not right. My readings are not right. So I was asking them more of like refrigeration questions, right? Like
Hmm.
about the cycle, the discharge, and this and that. Because, it doesn't matter what you're working on. It's always, like you said, the same components, your compressor, metering device, and your two coils, your heat transfer.
Hmm.
And the refrigerant you use, it just changes. The PSI is really the only thing that changes because everything else is temperature. Like you're going to deal with the same temperatures.
40 degrees is 40 degrees. I don't care
Yeah.
if it's 404A or R123. 40 degrees is 40 degrees.
You ever get my pet peeve? I don't know if you have this too. Like when people talk to you or talk to you about problems they've had, and it's like I got this pressure and this and that, and
Yeah.
I'm like no,
Well, hmm
no, give me temperature, convert it first,
hmm
and then we'll talk.
hmm No, you're 100% right. And I mean, I understand why people do it, because it's almost, I don't want to say people are programmed that way, but I guess we are. I could be wrong about this, but I believed all that stemmed from like hydraulic, because hydraulic doesn't really use temperatures. It
Hmm.
uses pressure. I mean, I could be totally way off base. And if I am, I'm sure somebody will correct me. And hey, now I can learn something new. But
It's
yeah,
also
it's
just
pressure.
different. Yeah, it's also just different
Hmm.
because before you only had a couple of refrigerants to worry about, right? So I guess the
Hmm.
pressure could be whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, now you have like, I don't know how many I have to. I'm a little not worried, but like annoyed about how many refrigerants I'm gonna have to carry, next year because we have so many
Hmm.
now. And you're
Hmm.
still phasing out the old ones, but you still got to carry like a replacement for it, or to get them by because a lot of, at least with me, a lot of the, well, you deal with it too because they won't change a chiller or whatever it is to a whole new refrigerant. They're gonna keep. I'm sure you still see R22.
Um, I see R22, but you don't see them really in um like your bigger chillers that would control like a building. You would see it in maybe a process chiller, like a
Yeah.
something that was cooling down like a CNC machine or something, right? Just a maybe a small 10-ton unit. But when it gets to the bigger chillers, it's they're either what we call high pressure, which is um, anything above 0 psig. But then we also have low pressure machines, which most people, if you're not used to it, you would probably freak out because the evaporator runs in a vacuum.
Oh,
You
really?
know what I mean? And that's, oh yeah, that's normal too. You could have your evaporator could be -8 psig, and of course my numbers that I'm going to say may not be 100% on point, but
Yeah.
whatever. It's not the point. Is -8 maybe a 40-degree uh, evaporation, saturated temp, and your condenser will run. It could run in the in a vacuum, in a low vacuum. Most of the time, it runs in a positive, but we're talking 5, 6, 7 psig.
Hmm.
That's it. Because I mean, some of those low pressure chillers, let's put it this way, they have what's called a burst disc on them. And if the pressure gets to 15 psi, it blows that burst disc, and there goes your whole charge. And you could
So
be talking about
what kind of refrigerant are they using for those?
the old school ones were R11, and then they went to R123,
Okay.
and now they're in the 500 series. I think
Okay.
it's I could be talking out my it's like, is it 513 or 514? I get them mixed up because one of them is
Yeah.
for high pressure and one of them's for low pressure. Uh,
I get the ones that we use mixed up too because I'm like, how many freaking numbers do we have to memorize?
well, I know for you, because you work on so many different types of equipment. I mean, you gotta literally be Baskin Robbins, with your refrigerant.
Well,
You
they're
got 31 flavors.
yeah, except they're taking away the colors, right? They're all gray. I'm always like, which one am I grabbing? I gotta label them on the top of the tank just so I know which one I'm grabbing when I see
Hmm.
them. But yeah, like we deal with 407C because we got rid of R22, and then
Hmm.
404. I still deal with 134A,
Hmm.
410, and then whatever we're gonna have to carry. I don't know if it's gonna be R32 or the like. I get them mixed up too. Like I don't know, it's 454 or whatever the other one is for the
454B.
yeah. So I'm like, we're probably gonna have to carry another couple of tanks. So I used to carry 2 racks in my old van in my Express, and it was the 4 that I needed, and then I would carry like 3 recovery tanks just in case, right? Because I would have one for each,
Hmm.
and I would swap them out often. But when I got to my new one, I was trying to save space, and I was gonna do it again, but then I was like, I'm just gonna have to deal with it because we're gonna end up adding more tanks, this coming year. I was like, I'm just gonna carry the ones that I use the most. The 407 and the 134 might have to stay in the shop, and I'll carry like 1 or 2 recoveries, and then I'll just have to like swap them out as I go because at this point it's like I need to know like what to carry because I can't carry like 10 tanks or whatever it is.
Hmm. So a buddy of mine back home, right? He still does refrigeration, and in the same boat as you are. He's like, I'm not going to have half my truck just filled up with refrigerant drugs. So what he's been doing, and it obviously it'd be a case by case basis, but what he's been doing is like, you know, he'll say a job needs 134, and he doesn't see 134 much anymore. So he needs 134. He'll go buy a jug. He bills the customer for the whole jug and then leaves the jug on site with them. So
Oh,
he's not carrying it around anymore, and it's an easier sell for them because it's like, hey, look, you now have something on hand. That way, if you have an emergency, I don't have to open up a supply house. Don't you touch this at all because you are not legally allowed to. But I want you to have this on site available. And let's be honest, how big does a 30-pound jug really? How much room does it take up? Not that much, not when you're talking about a restaurant.
yeah.
You just you stash it somewhere, and that's what he's been doing. He'll keep 404 at certain places. He'll keep 134 at certain places, and then on his truck, he's just carrying, like mainly like 410A, a little bit of 22, or maybe for the people who don't want to, they're looking to do it the less expensive way. I don't want to call people cheap because none of us know what people's financial situations are, and we shouldn't be judging them anyways. But like that 422D, or what I honestly I call the fake 22. You
Yeah.
know, I personally, I'm not against people using it because you do you and you do what your company tells you to. And, you know, I'm not perfect myself and I don't make the rules. I don't like those. I don't like these drop in replacements. I'm just not a fan of them, period. Have I had good success with them? Yes. But most of them, you got to do a lot of extra steps to make it work, especially with 407C.
You got to be
407C does not like mineral
y-
oil.
yeah, you got
That's
to
a
be careful.
POE oil. Yes. There's a lot of work you have to do. And let's be honest, how many guys are dumping out the mineral oil and replacing it with POE?
No,
Yeah.
I talked to somebody that actually did work here at this house when I moved in because there was the something was still under warranty. I think they had just replaced a evaporator coil in the attic
Hmm.
and it leaked again. So they were gonna replace it, under warranty or whatever it was. But it's an R22 system, so it's an older system. And I was just chit chatting with him because I actually went to school with his kid, right? So it's a father and son, and we went to the same
Hmm.
HVAC school. And I made the mistake of trying to talk to him about, drop in refrigerants and, what do you carry or what do you do and this and that. He's like, what oil change? I'm like, it's not the same oil. I was like, you got to replace it unless you change out the compressor, right? You might get lucky if you have a newer compressor because then it automatically has POE oil. But
Hmm.
if you are dealing with an older system, I mean, I haven't looked at it, but he was just saying, no, it's a drop in. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like end the conversation here. I'm gonna walk away, let him do whatever he needs to do. I I had to go to work that day. It was in the morning. I was like, okay. So a lot of people don't change the oil, don't care about it. They hear drop in. They might even mix refrigerants. I've seen that plenty of times. You know, you go in there and you're
Mhm.
like, what the hell are these pressures doing? And it's like, oh, it's probably mixed. You take it out, weigh in the new charge or whatever you're using, and then it works. I mean, that's how it works. Today's episode is also brought to you by NAVIEN. If you haven't seen it yet, NAVIEN has entered the HVAC space in a big way with the new NPF hydro furnace. This hydronic forced air furnace delivers industry-leading variable capacity operation from 15 to 100% in both natural and propane configurations. You can learn more at navieninc.com. I also want to thank DIVERSITECH. They simplify your work. They have everything a contractor needs to complete a job. That goes from equipment mounting, condensate, management, tools, maintenance chemicals, electrical components, indoor air quality, and much more. They have different branches under the same umbrella. More than likely, you're already using some of their products or tools. So go check out diversitech.com, and it's your one-stop shop for everything HVAC.
Like me, I'm personally like I've used them before, uh, and they do work. Don't get me wrong, but they only
Yeah.
work if you can do it the right way. Now, the one that I'm just not a fan of is Mo99.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Uh,
Mo99.
no,
I had one job site. Like, they had nothing but compressor issues, and I'm just assuming it had something to do with the refrigerant. I mean, uh, I have no idea what they did to the systems because I came in to replace that company, and just noticed that they had to change out a bunch of them. They had a bunch of them laying there. When I got there, they had like two other dead compressors that I found, like, um, on two different units, and they're all labeled Mo99. I've heard bad things about it, so I've seen issues with that one, and I've seen issues. The other replacement that they try to push on us at the supply house was the oh man, what was it called? It was a green jug, 427, I believe.
yes, 427A.
I tried that one and I had issues with it.
So Mo99 will work, right? But it's not going to work with mineral oil. It's
I don't They probably
almost a
didn't.
guaranteed compressor killer.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
It does work with POE. Now, I'd be a liar to say it doesn't, but I'll be honest with you, I still think it has oil return issues. Like that would probably be my least favorite of these. I'm not going to use the term drop in because there's no such thing, but replacement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Replacement. That's my least favorite one is Mo99, and I'm sure a lot of people have had good success with it. And I think it does okay if you have shorter line sets. You know what I mean? For oil return.
Yeah.
I've seen people put them in on systems that had longer line sets and stuff like that, like bigger split systems, and your oil return is crap. It's crap. Like on a rooftop unit, on R22 rooftop unit, if you can swap out the oil and put a POE in it and then drop that Mo99 in, I've done it before and it's worked. And as far as to my knowledge, the unit's probably still working.
Yeah.
So I can't discredit it completely, but my personal opinion, I think that's the worst one out there. I stay well away from Mo99. I personally like 407C if we're going to any of these replacement ones.
Yeah.
407C is it's tried and true. It's it's something that has just basically like it's proven it'll work with minimal issues, but the key is to follow the blasted guidelines, like you can't just dump it in, walk away and expect it to, it's not unicorn dust. It's not a magic juice here.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we tried the 427 because that's what our supply house wanted or pushed. Didn't like it. Had issues with it. Even, just maintaining temp. Like, I didn't like the
Mhm.
temperatures I was getting. I went to 407C, or I stayed away from Mo99 just on advice from other people. And then 407C, and that's a Copeland approved one too. When you go to
Mhm.
replace or get a replacement compressor, that's what they want you to put in. So we stuck with that one. You just have to be mindful of the oil and
Mhm.
the capacity, because it takes less as well. You don't put the same amount. Like if you're going pound for pound, you're not putting in the full charge of it. It's like 80% less. I mean, 80% of the original charge or something like that. So you got to just,
Mhm.
like you said, read the instructions, be careful.
So what I started doing is, and it seemed to work out well. So if the people just don't want to pay for R22, which I can't really say as I blame them because it costs an obscene amount
Well,
nowadays.
I don't want to pay for
Uh,
R22.
no, well, I don't blame you. I mean, so what I've been doing is, and I think that it has merit, is really what you want to do. Like I use the Danfoss refrigeration's slider app. That it's a fantastic app, and literally start typing in your temperatures and then start changing the refrigerants,
Yeah,
or type in a pressure, right? So if it's an R22 type system, we both know that 300 pounds a head is the upper echelon. You don't really want to start getting above that. Well, type in 407C and put in 300 pounds a head and see what the temperature comes out at, the sat temp.
yeah.
Put in 427A, see what the sat temp. I mean, we both live in Texas. I mean, you live in oven Texas. I'm like mildly toasty Texas. But we
Yeah.
have really high ambience here.
Oh,
And
yeah.
do you really want a refrigerant that has, at 300 pounds is going to be 135-degree sat temp, or would you want one that's 120 so you're not starting to cook
Exactly.
that oil? You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
That's something that I started doing too after trying to figure out a replacement. Because I think I have the Danfoss one too, but I haven't played around with it too much. I have like a specific PT chart app. It's the same exact. I think they all look exactly the same. They just have different names.
Hmm.
So like I'll do the same thing. I'll go in and start typing in pressures and temperatures, and I'm like, what does this run at, or what does this refrigerant run at? And I'll compare it to whatever I'm replacing it with, like you said, like R22 or whatever. I just did that recently for the one that I was it an R it was an R12 conversion, and I always do that. I always double check the new refrigerant or whatever we're changing it to. Like, can it handle this? Can it handle that? What is the, like you said, what is the condensing temperature, the ambient we deal
Hmm.
with is like 110 degrees or so, right? You don't want it to go too high. I just had a system that I did, but it was a 410A. And I was like, you guys need to get, because I fixed it, and I'm like, you guys need to get maintenance with us, because it's like, I think it's a double row coil. And I'm like, your head pressure is getting up there, right? Like it's working fine, but your head pressure is creeping up. So I like to use a PT chart all the time to just to double check things like that.
Hmm. No, PT. I mean, PT chart is honestly it's the key. It's a tool. Like I'll be honest. I have, like, the little stubby gauges, right? And I have a set of stubby gauges that's specifically just 410A, right? That's it. I don't give a crap. I'll throw those on there.
Yeah,
I look at the pressure that it's at. I know the refrigerant. Pull up the little, phone, and the information's still valid.
it's so
It's still
easy.
valid.
It's so easy now. There's no excuse, because before
Yes.
I carried around a physical PT chart for the same reason, because I
Mhm,
had
yep,
one
right in
set
your
of
pocket.
gauges. I had one set of gauges, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna use my PT chart. I For the longest time I didn't even buy like the 410A version, because I had the old 134, 404, R22 gauges, and like for the longest time I got away with it. At least checking the suction pressure and trying to just use a PT chart. And then like I finally got the 410A ones, but then I needed like some of the old refrigerants. So again, use a PT chart. You can use that one set for everything.
Truth be told, 134A is still, that's huge in my world. You know what I mean? Like
It's
most
so weird,
high pressure.
because even at the hospital I work at, a lot of their equipment that they're still buying is still 134A. That's where I use it the most.
Mhm. I've put brand new machines in that are 134A. I like it. I mean, in the chiller world, 134A, I mean, it's like it's the chiller world's version of 410A, honestly. I mean, I mean, shoot, there's chillers with 410A, but those would be your air cooled scroll compressor mostly. I mean, they do have water cooled scroll machines, and they'll use 410A. That's about the only time you'll see 410A is on your those are usually on your smaller tonnage machines. I mean, they can get up to a pretty good ton, like there was a building I used to take care of downtown Austin here. It had, I think the chiller was 210 tons, air cooled machine. So I mean, it's decently sized, but that's not really that big for a chiller. I mean, it's the machine looks big and it's long. It looks like a freaking school bus sitting on top of a roof.
Yeah.
But tonnage wise, it's not that big. It's decent, and that's a scroll machine, and it's 410A. But then you go to most guaranteed, like you get into your centrifugal chillers, you'll never see 410A. Centrifugal chillers are going to be 134A, or they're going to be 123 or 11, like low pressure machines. The whole point of a low pressure machine is to have less charge. So you can have
Mm,
an 800-ton low pressure machine, and it might have 800 pounds of refrigerant. You go to an 800-ton high pressure machine, that thing probably has 1,500 pounds of refrigerant,
yeah,
right? They're still doing the same thing, but look at the size of the charge.
that's crazy.
It's quite a bit less. Yeah, quite a bit less.
That just reminds me, like in what I see, because I've had guys that get into like the kitchen space and they're like asking me about certain coolers and coolers that they see, and it's 134A, right? And they're not, like you said, everything has its own like its own way of working, like you said, low pressure machines that you see. For me, it's the 134A stuff because they'll ask me, is this normal? Because like the pressures on 134A, as far as like what I work on, is way lower than like a 404 system or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. I'm like, oh, I'm like, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, don't worry about that. That's normal. You can run as low as like under 10 psi for a 134A,
Mm-hmm.
small cooler. I've seen some run, damn near zero, and it's fine. It's getting the temperature and it works. So
Mm-hmm.
just, I don't know, just know what you're working on.
No, 100%. I mean, I used to do reefer work. I used to do a lot of refrigeration, so I know what you're saying. And honestly, 134A is what I came across a lot. Now, you didn't run them on your bigger machines, like your
Yeah.
walk-ins and stuff like that. They were mainly, your smaller reach-in machines, or, just those smaller coolers and whatnot. But I'll tell you, the one thing I didn't like about 134 in refrigeration is if you had a cap tube system and if you didn't take care of that thing, I mean, it just cooked that oil and just
Yep.
plugged up that cap tube, and it was basically like you trashed the system.
That's
I
all
mean,
that
you
I
just
saw. That's all
trashed
that
it.
I saw when I started, and a lot of times I had to fix them. So like we were changing out cap tubes
Mm-hmm.
left and right, and it was always the same symptom. I just got so used to doing that stuff, and it's funny that's yeah, that was a major call that we had back when we had like a ton
Mm-hmm.
of these true prep coolers and stuff like that they all use cap tubes, which is usually what you see with the 134. Because I still see
Mm-hmm.
that with the new stuff, hospitals, or not the new stuff, but like the hospitals that I work at, a lot of their equipment is cap tube, and we've replaced a bunch of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. So and I remember there was like a whole thing about it. You had to get the right size, and then you had to wrap it around a certain amount of times, and because I mean, shoot, I mean, let's just be honest, it's just a tube. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? There's no piston, there's no throttling, there's nothing. It's a tube, and yeah, if you turn that oil into any kind of sludge, bye bye.
and I had to go get the well, like we would buy at the time I didn't know anything, but like I was buying the Subco ones, I believe, and the cap tubes. So you buy the replacement. I'd always have the counter guy help me out. Like, I need to size this for this, because I didn't know like the length and cutting them, and then like you said, the coiling them and all that. So I always had the supply house guy help me out when I started, because like I said, that was all that we did for a good while. And then like you said, you have to size it, make sure you put in the right one and all that.
Do you remember those filter dryers that where you had to slide the cap tubes into the filter dryer and then braze them all like they were like they're almost like the copper, like they almost look like a copper
I
canister,
think I still
and they had the
have.
thin end and you just slid them in there, brazed it all up,
Yeah.
and there you go. That's your metering device.
Yeah, and I had to figure out when I started, because that's all that I saw. Um, those are very common, and trying to cut it to size, because like you said, you have to jam it in there, and
Mhm.
where the cap tube goes into the filter dryer, it like reduces a little bit, and then you cut it off. You cut off the end, you put it in, and you just like you said, solder it up, make sure it's in there good. And I think I have one unit left that still uses one of those. I haven't had to open up the system. We replaced the cap tubes, obviously the dryer, and I think we replaced the compressor at one point. It's been working ever since. I think I've only had like electrical problems with it recently. So I haven't had to open it up anymore. I still carry one of those dryers on my van just in case, but I forgot about that. I haven't seen those in a while now.
That's honestly where the merits of brazing with nitrogen for me
Oh,
like really took hold, is because I did one and I did not braze with nitrogen. And I freaking plugged up the cap tubes with that carbon buildup. Freaking plugged them up. You could watch
yeah.
the frost line, and I was just like, "What happened? What happened? What happened?" And yeah, I was like, "Well," he's like, "You're gonna have to replace it." I cut the cap tube open. Freaking carbon just blocked the thing up. I'm like,
You,
"Okay, well, let's not do that again."
you know, that makes me think about one. Maybe I did the same thing because I had to replace. I did something to a system and I replaced a dryer, and it was a small dryer. I know
Hmm.
I didn't have the right size, so I think I used like the size under. So I was like, maybe I undersized it. But I remember when I started, we didn't know about nitrogen either. I like nobody taught me that, right? And I learned from whoever I was with, and sure enough, I brazed it in, and immediately you saw it frost up when we started it. I'm like,
Hmm.
crap. So I don't know. Thinking back on it, maybe it was carbon buildup as well. Especially with those styles, it's easy to plug up.
Parts get blamed all the time, but in my opinion, parts don't fail as much as people think they do. It's poor
No.
practices that make stuff fail.
Yeah, if it's, and that's something I was taught in school, is like a lot of the times you walk up to a system, 90% of the time it's just like electrical, like something shorted out, something rubbed out. It's not usually like, the TXV or something major, unless
Hmm.
something else happened. Like you said, if you plug up the dryer because of bad practices, or you kill a compressor because somebody bypassed safeties and all that, that stuff happens.
So it still makes me laugh having learned now that these you hear this. Oh well, yeah. Well, this system lasted for 25 years. Oh well, yeah, you were on mineral oil, which isn't hygroscopic. So yeah, your two smoke in a coffee vacuum wasn't gonna be as bad as a 410A system, And what's
Hmm.
even worse, and you know it as well as I do, are these blasted microchannel coils.
Oh
Like
yeah.
everything on a microchannel coil system, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, everything has to be damn near perfect because they have designed that unit to the absolute limits of its capability without being destroyed. So you have piss poor airflow, you have dirty coils,
Yep.
you have capacitors getting weak, or this, that, and the other. Well, why do you think these things have so much problem? I mean, they engineer them to the max so they can, it's about profit, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they engineer them to the max, and if something goes out of whack, well,
Yeah.
don't be surprised if you have an issue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, not only like installing them properly, but maintaining them, because I've come across so many that, like
Mm.
you said, they're plugged up one way or another, and especially on condensers, like, what do you think happens, right? It's like high pressure. That thing cannot handle
Mhm.
any more high pressure, and then like you start springing leaks, and that I think that's the main cause for the leaks because like microchannels are known for leaking, but like was it maintained right? Was it cleaned out often? Like I just came across one that was like pretty dirty that supposedly somebody was doing maintenance on it. I went up there and I'm like, this thing is plugged up filters and the condenser was super dirty. I was like, I don't know what maintenance, they were doing, but if you don't take care of it now, you're gonna have, a ton of issues with it. And it
Mhm.
was a microchannel.
I believe it honestly comes down to expansion contraction. And
Yeah.
if you get them up to those really high temperatures, you're expanding that metal,
Yep.
goes off on high head, it starts to come down, it cools down, the metal can even if it's aluminum, it still will expand and still contracts. You do that enough times, it's that old paperclip thing, you know? How many times
Hmm.
can I do this before it snaps? I
Yes,
mean,
exactly.
granted, yes, they're junky coils. I'm just not going to mix words about that. They're
And
junky coils.
they're
I
thinner.
do not
Yeah.
like them. Uh huh.
Yeah.
But I mean, yes. Do they leak in automobiles? But sure. But microchannel coils have been in automobiles for decades.
Hmm.
Just decades on decades. It's not some new invention that was just created. They've been around a long, long time.
Yeah,
Something else has to be causing it.
you just gotta take care of them. That's the main. They're like you said with a lot of the things. Because even like with R22, like, and I've always said that this HVAC stuff is forgiving, right? And it was more so before, like, you could get away
Mhm.
with not doing a lot of things and the system will work. It's just getting a little more difficult now because if you don't do things a certain way, like you're gonna have issues at one point. And
Mhm.
just like with that, your maintenance, which is what try to tell customers. I'm like, if you if you get on a maintenance plan or anything like that, even just having us come out and clean the coils and just do a once over, it's gonna make that unit last a lot longer because like they honestly they just don't make them like they used to. Like you could, a unit from like 20 years ago, whatever it is, even older than that, they were built like a tank. You could run these into the ground and they would still work without any issues. And now
Mhm.
stuff's made a little cheaper, a little thinner. Aluminum is it has its quirks and things like that, and you gotta take care of them.
Oh, well, no wonder this took a crap. You didn't take care of this. But that maybe the building next door to you, they have somebody take care of their stuff. Oh, look, their system's 10 years older than yours and it's got all the original components in it.
Oh yeah.
But they took care of it.
So how's the new job, the new job with Daikin? I know I always mispronounce it.
That's okay. I love it. Absolutely love it. My only regret is I wish I would have done it sooner.
So like what's your title there? What do you do now?
I am a service tech 3. So you start out, they have, 1, 2, 3. And then when you get into like a 4 is more of a field supervisor. So I'm a service tech level 3. So, and this is the running joke. I hate ice machines
Yeah.
and I hate VRF.
Okay.
I just, and some people like VRF, and that's cool. If you do, more power to you. God bless you. Uh, I do not like VRF at all, at all. And I'll be honest, I haven't had much training on it. I might like it a little bit more if I had training, but to me, and this is just my opinion, VRF is 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. They have
Hmm.
guys who like to do that stuff and who work on that stuff and who are very good on it, and they can have every bit of it. And that's my opinion.
So what do you because that was one of my questions, like what do you prefer to work on? Like what's your favorite thing about what you do?
Mm, dang, that's a good question. I'll be honest. One of my favorite things to do is learn things. It may sound cheesy and cliche, but
So
I
you
love
you
learning
you want to
something new.
see, yeah, you want to see new things or something that you're not familiar with.
Absolutely,
Okay. And
absolutely. fireman, the fireman mentality is where my mind is. I don't want to run away from the fire. I want to run to it. And yeah,
Okay.
sometimes I'm there, I'm beating my head against a wall, just going, man, ah, but at the end of the day, when you get that problem solved, and you get it fixed, dude, there's some great satisfaction in that. There really
Hmm.
is.
So that's your
There's
favorite
some
part.
great, and you
Like
learn
you
something.
like that type of situation.
I
Yeah.
do. I love chillers, and it's not the I'll try and keep my language clean here, but it's not the big cock on the block attitude either. Oh, I'm a chiller, because who gives a crap? I love chillers because of the complexity of what they can be, and as you like to do yourself, it's not just a piece of equipment; it's a system.
Hmm.
It's not just a chiller. It's piping, it's valves, it's sensors, it's water flow, it's pumps, it's cooling towers, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. And it all has to work for it to work.
Hmm.
And I love that, like I love hydronics. That's what I can say I love the most. My true passion in this trade is hydronics. I love boilers as well, steam, that whole side of it. I love the hot side and the cold side. If there's water in a pipe, Jason's in his happy spot.
And I know the same, like the feeling that you're talking about, like when you have a hard day, a long day, you come across. I just came across like an ice machine. I know like your favorite thing to do, ice machines, um, that I've never seen before, and they wanted me to replace the evaporator. I'm like, all right, cool. I've never done it. I've never seen this equipment, this brand before, but I'm excited to try it, right? And it was for like
Hmm.
a customer that I've never been there before. Like it was all new, everything. And I was like, cool. It's a challenge. I'm gonna get into it. And I had fun doing it. That's what I like to do too.
Hmm. Absolutely. I mean,
And the feeling you get after,
everybody,
like you said, like the feeling that you accomplished it.
and I think that's the key to happiness and success in this trade, is finding what you like to do and being very good at it. But I will say one thing about PMs is, man, after a summer that just kicks your rear
Oh
end,
yeah.
man, is it nice to almost, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but almost like flip the brain off, fly in autopilot and just be like, PMs,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
A lot of guys prefer to be doing like other calls, but I run a business, so like I'm trying to get as many as I can on the maintenance
Hmm.
side because that is just guaranteed money, right? As boring as it can be, and what I try to tell like others, like my brother too, like just look over everything. Like at the beginning when I started, I was like trying to get in and out, like okay, clean the coils, do this, whatever it is, and then get out because like I was like I don't want to do this. But what I started to do is like go through everything, like make sure you clean everything,
Hmm.
wipe every little corner, clean this, check this. You could take apart things, just to look at the motors and the wiring and go a little further, right? Take off the little plates on the contactors, I don't know, like the more you keep yourself busy during that time of the maintenance, like I don't know, it might spark your interest. That's the time that you can also take to learn the wiring or learn how things
Hmm.
work, the sequence of
Hmm.
it. Like do something
Hmm.
else in your time there, not just washing the coil. Like go and look at all the parts, see what they look like, what they do. That kind of helps with that when you get bored, like look at the different parts, look at what they do, take it apart, maybe takes some things apart that you wouldn't have before, and kind of spark your interest that way.
Well, it also gives you, and you're 100% right. It also gives you a chance to look at other stuff that maybe in the heat of summer that you might not have looked at, just because it's hot, you're busy, it's
Yeah.
this or that. Even though, we're all supposed to care about not the next job, but the one that we're on. But let's just be honest, we're humans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And PMs give you the chance to go, all right, cool. I don't have to attack this with such a ferocity like I would if this was a service call. You can kind of just, all right, I can take this in a nice progression. And hey, to be honest with you, it is great revenue source for a minimal amount of work. I mean, you replace contactors, belts,
Oh yeah.
capacitors, this, that, and the other. If you were to look at how simple those are and how little time consuming it is, but then look how much you actually made off of that.
Mm-hmm.
For minimal amount of input, you made a lot on the output side. I mean, you replaced 30 contactors. That's a good amount of money you made.
Yeah.
Let's
And
just be let's be honest. That's great money.
that's the honest upsell, is like when you go out there and you're like, okay, you need some contactors that look horrible, your belts are cracked, things like that. And you walk out of there with a pretty good, invoice. And
Mm-hmm.
that's helping the customer, because like if you let that stuff go, you end up with bad motors and compressors and all that. So and then being on that maintenance, like you said, like we love to learn all the time. You can look at a system when you're on a maintenance and see what it's supposed to be doing. Like, what are these things supposed to be? How are they working? How is it when it's up and running versus like you get there and nothing's coming on and you're like, I don't know where to start. So on a maintenance, you can also just see what it's doing, see how it runs, see what parts do what, especially when you're, new to the trade and all that. Take advantage of that and see
Mm-hmm.
what it's supposed to be doing. To be good in this trade, it's just effort. It's just a little extra time here and there. Like that's what will set you apart from the previous guy or the other technician,
Mm-hmm.
just start with effort.
There's a big difference between giving 100% and 110%. And it's not just 10 numbers. There's a big difference. You know it as well as I do that, you know, the above and beyond is what sets you apart. And, all of us want to make good money. I've never met anyone in this trade who's like, nah, I'm cool with being broke and not getting paid well. I've never met that person yet, and I doubt I will. But if you want to make that more money, you want to set yourself apart, you want to advance, maybe to be an owner, to be a field supervisor, a service manager, a whatever, a trainer, who cares? Whatever your goal is, it takes that effort, that extra 10%, 15, 20% of effort and grind and blood, sweat, and tears to get to that point, or you're just going to be just another guy.
Yeah, there's guys that are good at, they're good at their job. They get in and out, but they don't care. They don't put effort. That's why I always tell people, if you just, like you said, just give extra effort, like 110%, however you want to word it. That sets you apart. That makes you so much. That creates that difference of a good tech and a great tech. That's just the way it is.
Hmm. And when things come down to it, guess who's going to continue to keep having work, especially in
Yeah.
the slow times?
Oh yeah. The ones that
That
the ones
guy.
that did a little more, caught something that the other didn't. Um, took their time and did extra on their PMs, extra on their calls, and a lot of that stuff translates to everything. Like, you prevented this, you prevented that, but you also, like we were talking about the belts, the stuff on the maintenance that you do. You could have gotten a better ticket because you went a little bit further. Like, you were there just to clean the coil, but you found a bad belt, a bad capacitor, because you checked all these things, right? So a lot of that helps you on leveling up in your company, being a better technician. For me, like, I mean, I run my company, so like for me, it helps me with competition, right? Like, I've had guys that come in, try to take the job that we have, from the customers that we have, and they always come back to us because we do it right the first time. We catch things that they
Hmm.
don't. That helps you either way.
You know who's? I mean, there's tons of people who are really, really great at it, but I mean, you were just sitting there saying that, and it's like freaking Steve-O.
Yeah.
Freaking Steve-O. I mean, that's my brother. I love that dude. He works on some of the biggest freaking turd buckets around,
Oh yeah.
and he makes them work. But what impresses me the most about him is he is not just that gone. He looks at every single thing, and I love his little one of his famous slogans, master of the obvious.
Yep.
He looks at every if somebody out there wants to emulate a person, Adrian, you're a good example, but Steve-O is a just a prime example. Now there's tons of people. I'm
No,
not singling
he
him
comes
out
up.
and
No, he
saying
comes up a
nobody else
lot.
is.
Yeah, he comes up a lot when I talk to guys. Like that's just he's one of those guys. And I like his stuff. I like the way he approaches things. And like you said,
Mm-hmm.
master of the obvious, but his other little catchphrase is leave it better than you found it too. And
Yes.
I've taken that
Yes.
to heart, right? Because I go in my
Mm,
maintenance
yes.
and I clean a coil, I do this, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go a little bit further and polish this turd as best as I can, right? Just so it's better, going forward. So like that's another thing that he says that I've taken to heart and kind of tried to implement it as much as I can. And Steve is just one of those guys, like love watching his stuff because I don't get to do as much of this older equipment as I used to. Like a lot of it's change outs now. It's like that I find
Mhm,
boring. But I love when I get to work in an old system, and that's a lot of what he does is bringing all these old systems, back to life and kind of like making them the best that they can be, which I love.
mhm. I mean, to me, honestly, that's the sign of a true technician. I'm not saying other people aren't, but if you can take a piece of junk that was probably never installed right the first way, and you could get that thing to work and be s- half-ass reliable, no
Yeah.
no pun intended, you know, I mean, dude, that is a true professional right there. It's not hard to do or as hard to do if you're working on some brand new piece of equipment. Because let's be honest, not much can really go that wrong. You know what I mean? It's not going to be this big old list of potential things that
Yeah.
could go wrong. But you're working on a 25-year-old turd bucket that, was just butchered and hacked in, and they don't want to pay to make it as good as it could be, and you're expected to get it up and running and try to be like an operational piece of equipment. That is a true technician right there, and I got mass amount of respect for him and for guys like you, uh you know Rick Dermeyer, survival. I mean, that guy is just Albert freaking Einstein. I mean, you could put him on anything and he will figure it out. You know what I mean? He is the Swiss Army knife. Rick, if you ever listen, he's the Swiss Army knife of HVAC.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, that dude can go on anything. And I mean, there's tons of guys. Chris Stevens, like Chris's big picture phrase, he carries that into his job, and it's not just a slogan to him. He does it. I mean,
No, it takes a
tons
lot
of
to do what
people. I
he
mean,
does too.
Ty Brannaman. Who doesn't? Anyone who doesn't like Ty, you're a piece of crap. I'm just gonna say it. You're a piece of crap.
I love that guy. Everybody
Me
I
too. And I have talked to him several times. I've
Yeah.
called him several times and picked his brain. And he has every single time, even though I didn't see his face, you could tell he had a smile on his face and he was more than happy to help. Hell, I could have caught him in the middle of doing open heart surgery and he would have found a way to still talk to me. I
Yeah.
mean, that dude will give you the shirt off his back. And God bless him, man. He's freaking awesome. I mean, there's tons of people. I don't want to leave names out, but
No, I mean
there's
there's
tons of
tons.
people who are great. Who are
There
great. Jake's hilarious. I love that boy. I love Jake. Curtis is awesome. Now, I mean, I should watch more of his stuff. I mean, I'll admit I watch it from here or there, and I do enjoy his videos. But for me, it's more entertainment, not really so much to learn something. It's more
Okay.
entertainment, and that's not a knock on him. Or he's freaking awesome. I love Curtis, but it's more entertainment, like. And I tend to try to gravitate towards the stuff where I'm going to learn, and then there's other channels that are providing an insane amount of entertainment. You know.
Oh yeah, I have my few that I go watch like all the time. Like you said, Jake, because it's always a fun time. You know, whatever it is that he posts, and then like
Mm-hmm.
the others, I have to be like paying attention, kind of like Curtis. I mean, Curtis posts every damn day too, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of good stuff. It's
He's a
just
smart dude.
yeah, it's a lot of good stuff. But I'm like, I need to watch those when I'm like kind of focused on it, and you know, the same thing with Chris because I don't know how Chris does it. He explains it so well, and his videos are so thorough. But that's just
Mm-hmm.
the way he works, you know.
Mm-hmm. I
Um,
mean, everyone's good. Everyone's good. I love Curtis's sense of humor. He's got a sense of humor that, I mean, hopefully people get it, you know. But he's a funny freaking guy, man. He really
yeah,
is, and he's smart. He really is. He's
yeah.
smart.
I loved being able to do that night's show with him just so I can get to know him better because I knew he was smart. I knew he had, you know, this and that, but getting to know him on that show has been like great because like you said, he is a funny guy. You know, he's one of us. He's you know, laid back and just really smart.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I assume you're going to HR, right?
Yeah, you're gonna that was another
Hell
question, but
yes,
I
I'm
hadn't
going.
gotten to it. Uh AHR is going to be fun because I hear a lot of people are going to it because it's in Orlando. Because I know Chicago kind of sucked, but um, Orlando is going to be the place to be, man. I'm going to be there. I know the guys Curtis and Jake are going to be there. Everybody's already booking their stuff, so it'll be a fun time.
I already got it. I've had it booked for almost a month now. Got a
Yeah.
hotel, air, the flight, the whole nine. I'm like, I am not missing it this year. It's February in Orlando. Yes, please sign me
Oh yeah.
up.
Way better.
Jake's backyard. We're gonna party at his house, whether he likes it or not. I think Brian Sanders is
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be there. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope he is.
I hope he
Pat,
is
you
too.
know, I hope Steve-O, you know, Hughes man. I hope, you know, Rick Durmeyer. I hope all these guys are there. I know Gil's gonna be there, and Scott, Mr. Rookie, who I
Yep.
talk to him every once in a while too. Like
Oh
Scott's a
yeah.
cool dude, man.
I saw him.
So's
I saw
Gil.
him at the last one. Yeah, cool dude. But yeah, I can't wait because, like you said, everybody will be there.
What about Jake's little impromptu little interviews? I mean, that was just pure comedy gold right there.
I wish we had planned that better because, like, I had that idea, and then I was like, "Do you want to do this, Jake? You know, this and that." And then we did it, and it went so well, but I had to cut it short because I had to leave. I was like, "Damn it!" Okay, so like next time, I think we'll plan it out a bit better because he was hilarious.
Mm-hmm. That was, I mean, I watched that and I mean, I literally, my gut was hurting from laughing. It was freaking comedy gold.
Yeah, I told him I was like, "We got to do that again, man. That was fun." Well, I wanted to end on that note. You know, can't wait to see you in HR. Hopefully, we have a good showing of, you know, all the guys in the chat in the community that we see because I know a lot more are coming out. So I appreciate you for making the time to be on the show, man.
Well, I appreciate you for asking me. It's honestly been an honor. Like, I remember I caught onto your channel. I mean, shoot, man, I think you had like 2,500 people. And I mean, look how much you've grown. Look, I mean, it's just, one of the things I admire about you is you're looking to just make it that much better. You know, you know, you're not looking to be, you don't give me that Hollywood vibe, you know, like you're trying to be Hollywood.
Also, Brett
Because I
calls
don't
me.
really, yeah, I don't. Well, it's out of love, you know. But
Yeah.
I've really appreciated you, just a down to earth cat, and you're not, you want to take it just slightly elevated, but you're bringing people up with you, and gotta say, dude, I have a tremendous amount of respect for you.
No, I appreciate it. Like I said, I could have talked about a lot more. So we'll have to do that another time.
I would love it. I would love for that to happen.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you again for coming out and I enjoy what you do. So like, you know, keep posting, keep doing what you do. I find all that stuff fascinating. A lot of the guys in the chat, you know you and know what you do and how smart you are. I know you're not going to admit to it, but you're a guy that knows a lot and does a lot.
Yeah, even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
All right, man. Well, we can sign off now. I appreciate you for coming on, and everybody watching and listening. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.